And yet we have the continued denial from the climate science community and official agencies telling us that we're not really seeing what we're seeing in the skies. They tell us if climate engineering were deployed, it would look exactly like what we're seeing in our skies. But then again, they tell us that we're not really seeing what we are actually seeing.
Called the Toric Molecular Cloud TMC65. That's just one of them.
Hello everyone, this is a follow-up to previous video regarding Stargate Project Smart Cities. For those of you that are denying the pumping chemicals in our skies, poisoning our waters and poisoning our soil, there's proof for that. There are patents, technologies. This has been deployed a long time ago, before I was even born. We're not living in a clean environment. This is affecting our health. All these nanoparticles in the skies, in our air, and constant 24/7 pumping of these chemicals through the chemtrail, the airplanes, through the boats on the oceans. There's a lot of bad consequences for all of this. It's affecting us. It's affecting all the species that are living here. It's weakening the soil. It's making the trees weaker. So many trees are falling over here just from wind. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that many giant trees just falling, like literally falling. And you think it's a healthy tree, but it's falling more than the previous years. It's pretty crazy. When I used to live in California, I was witnessing, I was actually taking videos of all these bees that I just see dying by the oceans. The bees, you completely disoriented. They fly straight to the ocean and they freaking die. They just collapse from the floor. You see them in the sand. I see them in all along the coast of Oregon. This is everywhere. These are very sensitive species. The pollinators, if we lose them, this whole place is done, it's over with. It's affecting our food supply. Induces dementia, it's like carcinogen. The soil has to be restored. The air has to be cleaned up. The water has to be cleaned up. Being distracted by all these narratives from the media, from the politicians. I don't care which side you choose, they're all diverting from the most crucial thing right now, and it's the climate engineering. It's affecting our health. It's affecting all the species of this planet. It's destroying our lives. All these fires, these are coercive material that they're pumping in the air. They have technology where they can direct it in any direction they want. They can target populations, they could target neighborhoods, they could target, it's just like they're doing. Look, Maui, California, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, the whole thing engineered events in my view. So much evidence that points to that. I just want to show very briefly the technologies that they have going on. I'm not going to be able to go through everything because, of course, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more than what I'm showing. But this is just for the deniers, the ones that want to deny that this chemical poisoning is happening. This is a clip from geoengineering. It's extremely important. I'm just going to play it a little bit. Watch that one. Just some of them. Let it vibrate. Those are facts, records that we didn't consent to. We didn't consent to this. Amazing documentary. They did it.
Perhaps the greatest lie ever perpetrated on populations all over the world is the condensation trail lie. What we're seeing in our skies is not condensation. It's sprayed particulate dispersions with very few exceptions.
It shouldn't be there. Jet engines burn clean. So if there's anything coming out of them, it's an additive. They're absolutely not contrails. Contrails do not linger, dissipate, and go into cloud coverage. Period. In the report.
So we're doing this. Who is doing this? This step should not exist. This is an attack right here in our skies. This is the elephant in the room right here. This is literally the product of gaslighting. This is our problem right here. This is the problem. This is the big elephant in the room. This is the naked emperor right here. Nah, Libya. There it is. Thank you, Dibish. And I really hope that you guys wake up to this and spread the message.
With very few exceptions. They should lay there. Jet engines burn clean. So if there's anything coming out of them, it's an entity. They're absolutely not contrails. Contrails do not linger, dissipate, and go into cloud coverage, period, in the report.
And I kept saying to people, what is this? Because now the sky is no longer blue, it's starting to turn gray. And what I found was because it was not so acceptable. We're all going to pretend this is not really happening.
This lady's amazing. She's Catherine Pence. She's a former U.S. presidential cabinet member for George Bush. She's exposing so much. This lady is incredible. The research that she's doing and trying to warn people. A good woman to hear.
And I thought, oh, this is very bad. All the others.
The climate engineering nanoparticulates are exponentially small and they go virtually unreported.
These nanomaterials generate reactive oxygen species in biological materials, damage tissue, lead to advanced aging, cause cancer, causative agents of dementia. So, yeah, we might think that we're doing something positive for humanity to save our species, but we're also poisoning ourselves.
Eventually, with T, which won the Georgia Washington Org, we were able to acquire a NOAA flying lab. We were able to test at altitude to confirm the elements that were showing up at the surface.
Our intention was to do a point-to-point sampling mission. We could see these obvious patterns that were being laid out in the sky. We were really thankful for the opportunity to be able to get up to altitude. And on the return mission, we noticed that cloud layer had descended. We sampled below the cloud layer, we sampled through that confluent layer and above it.
We found exactly the same elements listed in climate engineering patent. Same elements we found in countless surface tests of precipitation from all over the globe.
Same. This is what they've been. This is what they're.
Same elements we found in countless surface tests of precipitation from all over the globe.
It's everywhere. They're doing it everywhere.
Found exactly the same elements listed in climate engineering patents. Same elements we found in countless surface tests of precipitation from all over the globe.
Alarming.
I'm engineering same elements we found in countless surface tests of precipitation from all over the globe.
This is very, very alarming. It's everywhere. Right here. This is where they've done it's everywhere. Everywhere. They're pumping our skies with this aluminum, barium, strontium. I mean, this is crazy. All these things are extremely harmful. High levels of aluminum, by the way, is very, very bad for not only us, but the trees, the soil. It's killing literally soil. And all the others. These are heavy metals, heavy chemicals. They're not supposed to be pumped. They're just not supposed to be pumped. These things are not supposed to be pumped in the skies. They want to delude people and under the excuse of, oh, we're trying to block the sun or do this, do that, but it's actually they're all doing harm through this chemical pumping. They have a different agenda. It's not what they claim. They're liars, deceivers. And this is really, it's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Governments all over the globe and the entire climate science community are telling the population urgently that climate engineering operations, solar radiation management operations need to be immediately deployed to try to mitigate the warming of our planet, to try to preserve its life support system.
This is the biggest hoax that has been run on humanity, and this is completely wrong. If geoengineeringwatch.org, if you do watch the dimming, it will really debunk and show you the real facts behind what's going on with our climate. They're lying to us, they're deceiving us. They're saying they're doing all these things like, oh, they're watching out for the environment and they have to pump those things. No, they don't. It's a total hoax. It's been debunked already. If anything, they're doing harm.
Governments all over the globe and the entire climate science community are telling the population urgently that climate engineering operations, solar radiation management operations need to be immediately deployed to try to mitigate the warming of our planet, try to preserve its life support systems. And yet, the public, those that are awake, try to bring to the attention of academia and elected officials that we see climate engineering already being conducted in our skies all over the world. It's already been deployed. Lab tests prove it, film footage proves it, documents prove it. And yet we have the continued denial from the climate science community and official agencies telling us that we're not really seeing what we're seeing in the sky. They tell us if climate engineering were deployed, it would look exactly like what we're seeing in our skies. But then again, they tell us that we're not really seeing what we are actually seeing. The paradox is the more the climate engineers spray the planet, destroy the ozone layer, disrupt the hydrological cycle, and increase the overall warming of the planet, the more they really have to ramp these programs up to try to mitigate some of the damage that these programs have done in the first place. That is the true definition of insanity.
That was driving around us.
Oh my goodness, that is the true definition of insanity, and I did not consent to this. I'm sure a lot of you guys have not consented to this. It's time to stand up and call it what it is. If we don't do this now, it just gone. Everything's gonna be gone from us. Life as we know it. This is that. This is what's doing all of this, you know, all these fires. Mass attack. This is one of the things that they have as well. Let me show you. They justify this by cloud seeding. That you don't know what's in there. They can put any chemical they want. They're claiming it's just air and water, whatever that is, but it's not. This is another method besides the boats on the seas, in the oceans, and the airplanes in the sky. They have these particular, they call it the Taurus molecular cloud, TNC65. That's just one of them. They can even make sand tornadoes. They actually do this in Africa. They've been attacking people with these things. This is very criminal. This is criminal.